What is up, guys? How are you all doing? I'm doing great, thanks for asking. And we're back here with a quick little video where I want to talk to you about one thing and one thing only, and that is Battlefield Hardline. This is going to be another full in-depth review of the game. Even though it is just a beta, I'm still going to destroy it and go into really detailed analysis, and just to show you guys whether or not it's good or bad, or if you want to buy it or not buy it. It will help you make a decision, and hopefully it can give some feedback to developers to make the game better for full release. Now, without further ado, we're going to get straight into it with the good points, and we're going to start off by the textures and graphics. Now, I have to say that even though most people mention Battlefield Hardline as being some sort of reskinned version of Battlefield 4, which it is, I agree with that. However, the graphics of it are so much better. I don't know what they've done to improve it, but the Levolution, the scenery, the graphics in general, the textures, all these things are much more HD and are a lot better and a lot more easy on the eye. Whereas Battlefield 4 does look beautiful as well. It's a great looking game. However, Battlefield Hardline is just like that bit better. I don't know what they've done, but to me, visually and aesthetically, Battlefield Hardline is amazing. The hit detection, the netcode, and the registration of the shots and things like that is on point. I mean, this is what Battlefield 4 should have had on day one, or at least month one of its release. And even now, Battlefield 4 is experiencing huge problems with those things. However, Battlefield Hardline is pretty much bang on. I mean, I think there was a bit of a lag on the first day of the beta being launched, but that's okay because you had like 50,000 million people rushing into servers at the same time, and therefore that would cause a bit of a lag. That's fine. However, in general, the connection is amazing. Even if you connect to servers that are quite far away, the hit registration of the bullets and things like that, again, on point, it's very crisp, and the netcode is not problematic. I only got shot around the corner once in this whole beta, because as we know, it happens every other kill or every other death in Battlefield 4, whereas in this game I played for about 6 hours and it happened once. It's definitely a positive for the game. The guns. Now, I must say that I prefer the guns in this game more so than the guns in Battlefield 4 or Medal of Honor for that matter. For example, the guns in this game, in Battlefield Hardline, they have much more recoil. It's a lot more difficult to use a gun. It's going back to the Battlefield 2 or Battlefield 1942 days, where you had to have real skill to be able to use a gun and get a kill with a gun. With the weapons in Battlefield Hardline, when you fire a round or two, or in burst mode or single fire mode, the gun kicks up incredibly. And of course, you can counter things like that by putting on some sort of foregrip or whatnot, which does help reduce the recoil by a significant amount, and it's very noticeable. However, the base stock guns are not lasers. That was one of the biggest problems I had with Battlefield 4. Anybody could get into the game, pick up any weapon, and just hold down the trigger and just get a kill. It was that easy, and that wasn't fair because it removed all element of skill. It meant that people who shot first or got lucky got the kill in Battlefield 4 because of the horrible netcode and hit detection, as well as the easy mode guns and the laser type guns. However, in Battlefield Hardline, it's completely the opposite. The netcode is good, the connection is good, and the guns and weapons are difficult to use, which means that the person who has more skill or who has best tactics or strategies will win that gunfight. So it's not down to luck or whoever the netcode prefers, it's actually down to skill, which it used to be, and I like the fact that they brought the game back to its original feeling. The next thing I have to mention is the animations. Now, the animations in this game are very cool, they're very unique. For example, the knifing animations are so much more real, so much more gritty and gruesome and kind of grounded, and it feels amazing. You feel as though you've really stabbed a character or something in the game, unlike the Battlefield 4 ones, which kind of look very generic and simple and not very effective or hard-hitting as Battlefield Hardlines. The other animations include things like using the baseball bat or the police baton to arrest an enemy. The arresting animation itself is very cool, where you drag somebody from behind with the kind of weapon and you put it to their neck and throw them to the ground and then put handcuffs on them and then interrogate them. These are very, very nice features that I'm glad they've put them into the game. Being able to shoot out of windows when you're in the passenger seat of a vehicle, any type of vehicle, is amazing. Even if you're on the back of a motorbike or something, you can pull out an RPG or a weapon and kind of get multiple kills with it, which is a very, very cool feature, and I like the fact that they've added that into the game because it didn't exist in previous Battlefield games, and it really gives off a new dynamic, and you're not restricted with the vehicle's capabilities now. You're kind of like a moving weapon, not just transportation, which is a very, very nice idea, and it works really well. And going off the similar point, the vehicles in the game are very nice. The transportation helis, or the little attack helicopters or the attack choppers, armored vehicles, the cop cars and the motorbikes, these are all very, very nice. They've been done very well. The textures on them, again, look very good, and they operate very smoothly, and I like it a lot. And I kind of prefer the urban warfare combat environment or theme, so I kind of like this idea before the game even came out, and the fact that they've executed it very well is very refreshing to see, because Battlefield 4 was such a flop that I'm glad this game is going to be somewhat of a success in terms of the quality of the game. Other features include things like zip lines and grappling hooks. I've talked about this before. It's very nice, it's very unique, it adds some sort of dynamic to the game. You can go to rooftops or places that you couldn't otherwise get to, and then you can be a real threat and kind of support your team and attack the enemy. and it basically means that it's not just like a run and gun game. There's some sort of tactics involved. You have to use your head, you have to have some sort of strategy or strategize and kind of communicate with your team. You know, some guy will go up onto the roof with a sniper and he'll give sniper support to people on the ground, and then you have a vehicle which is flanking to the left round the enemy and coming behind them and kind of in a pincer movement. So again, it's very nice and it adds a nice dynamic to the game. The game mode themselves are actually very nice. It's kind of a cool spin on things in terms of like the rush game mode or whatever. The fact that you can collect money from the vault in the center or from your enemies' trucks, which is very nice. In association with that, the level design itself, the maps themselves are very well done. Again, very nice looking. The levolution is very cool and it flows well. That's the main thing. If a map is designed well, then the flow of the game will be non-stop. It'll be kind of action packed and there won't be too many choke points and you won't feel restricted in terms of the map itself. These maps that we've been playing on, they kind of allow for the game to run its course and maximize its potential, which is very nice to see. Also, the fact that your character and your teammates shout things out as they do certain activities, like if they throw a med pack down, or if they spot an enemy, or if they're interrogating someone, or if they're doing some sort of action, they kind of shout stuff out, and that's very cool to see. That's been in most Battlefield games and whatnot, but again, it's just a nice touch, and I like the fact that they've kind of changed it up in terms of the voice acting and whatnot, because it's police officers versus thugs or criminals or, you know, bank robbers, so they kind of use their own lingo and their own kind of vocabulary which matches their kind of theme or style, which works very well, and it's nice to hear. One of the features that I love right now is the fact that if an enemy has some sort of health pack or ammo pack on them and you need it, instead of pestering them and being annoyed because they're not giving you ammo or health, you can just press E or interaction button and it automatically drops it onto the ground and you can get your ammo or your health without having to worry or wait, which is a very nice idea, and I like the fact that they've listened to the community for that. And now for the bad things. Now, unlike Battlefield 4, when I made the in-depth review for that when it first came out, this game doesn't have that many bad features about it. There are a few that need to be mentioned, but it's not too much and it's not too bad. But just to start things off, we're going to go with the knifing and the melee system. Now, as I just said earlier, the animations for these features are excellent and they work really well, but the problem is they don't work all the time. You'll see countless of videos and footage and live streams and experience it yourself even, where you will melee an enemy or knife them, but it won't make any contact, you won't cause any damage to the opponent, and it's basically just knifing air or hitting air, and you get no reward for it, and it's just very frustrating because the enemy that you're hitting, you can see him flinch, but nothing happens in game, which is very annoying. I'm guessing it's a glitch that will most probably be fixed when the game comes out. The shotgun. Now, the shotguns in general are quite overpowered, but especially double barrel sawn-off shotgun, it is insane. It kills with 2 slugs or 1 slug even at incredible ranges, which shotguns should not be able to operate under, and to me it just is game breaking and it doesn't really have a place in the game. If they're going to be that powerful, I wouldn't want to see them in there. If they're going to keep shotguns in there, which I guess they are, they should really nerf them to an extent where they only work in close quarter situations, because obviously that's what shotguns are made for. I've seen people get shotguns with further range than ARs and carbines do, which is, it shouldn't happen like that, and that definitely needs to be fixed. The next thing is this sort of EpiPen where you can revive yourself after being downed, which is stupid and insane and crazy, and I don't know who thought this was a good idea, because basically it's second chance from Call of Duty, and everybody hated second chance, so why would you put it in this game? I just don't get it. It's completely baffling to me, and I hope they take it out for the real launch, because this is going to be game breaking. This is going to completely ruin people's experiences of the game, and it's going to probably ruin all flow or momentum of a round, because you're going to kill someone and then you're going to turn around thinking they're dead, and then they're going to suddenly revive themselves and pop up from the ground like they sort of resurrected themselves like Jesus. I don't think so. You know, that I think this is a bullshit feature that needs to be eradicated, not changed, just completely removed. There are quite a few other glitches in this game at this moment. I've made a video about 2 of them. One of them is the under the map glitch. You can kind of spawn in on a squad mate or spawn in into the game and you find yourself underneath the map and there's no way of getting back up. So you have to suicide and kill yourself so that you can spawn in a different location or a different friendly or teammate or whatever, which is very frustrating because you get a death to your name and you waste time and resources and a ticket in that game mode, and it's just annoying and it needs to be fixed ASAP. And the other glitch is the no hands glitch. Now, a lot of people have told me that this happens in all Battlefield games. I don't know if this is true or not, because I've never seen in any Battlefield game ever, whether it be a beta or an alpha or a full release or whatever. This is the first time I've noticed this, and it's not a huge problem because it goes away in about 5 seconds after you spawn. Other glitches include you can sometimes glitch through walls and objects, which again, it shouldn't happen. Walls are supposed to be solid and objects are supposed to be solid. You can't go through them, you're not a ghost, so that shouldn't happen. Also, vehicles that land from an extreme height, for example, I've seen the motorbikes and people take them up high onto the rooftops and then they jump off with the motorbike while they're still on it, and then they bounce on the character themselves or the vehicle vehicle, and then they hit the ground and nothing. Not a single % of damage is done to the player or the vehicle, which is obviously a huge glitch and it shouldn't happen, and hopefully they'll fix it soon. The taser is a little bit annoying. I found out recently that if you hold down the fire button after you shock an enemy, you can electrocute them to death, which is kind of funny, I suppose, or you can just hit them once and incapacitate them for a few seconds as they lay on the ground. But it is a little bit annoying. However, the main glitch that stems from this is where somebody is shocked and they're on the floor and they try to get back up, and what happens is they basically serpentine and slide across the ground through objects and walls at super quick speeds, like a inhuman speed, and they kind of just disappear. It is a huge glitch. It's extremely funny to see. I've seen it in loads of videos, and it's happened to me a few times as well. However, you kind of shock them and they try to get back up, but the character doesn't stand up, he's still laying on the ground, and he just zooms out of it. He's just completely gone. You won't see him again, and it's extremely funny, but obviously it's a glitch which needs to be addressed. And the final thing I came across is that sometimes, even though I'm not lagging, or the server's not lagging, and it's a server close to home and whatnot, and my connection is fine, all of that is working perfectly, but I get onto a motorbike and I try to ride it or drive it through the streets, and it has this weird bouncy thing going on. It's like, even though the surface may be flat, and like I said, there's no lag or whatever, and there's no problem, so everything's running smoothly, but the motorbike will just kind of hop up and down. It's like it's got a jitterbug. It's like very jittery, and it's going from side to side and up and down on a flat surface, or even when I'm not moving, in fact. So again, that's just a little glitch where the vehicle is not making complete connection with the map itself, and I guess that's something that the developers are working on fixing. It's not a huge problem. You can still ride and drive the motorbikes. However, it kind of gives you this feeling that you're going to crash at any moment, which is very off-putting. So hopefully they'll fix it ASAP. However, that's just my list. Those are the things that I came across, and like I said, it's a full in-depth review, but there isn't much to the game because it's obviously a beta. There isn't much that has been released to the public. So from what we've seen and what we've played, these are the things that I come up with. For me personally, overall, I would say that this game is very good. I think the quality of the game is very high. It's better than Battlefield 4, and it runs better than Battlefield 4 as well. And I love the idea of kind of like a close quarters, infantry oriented Battlefield game, and I love that idea, especially the fact that it's between cops and robbers, which is awesome. However, one problem I have with this is that everybody knows this is kind of a filler game. Basically, it's taking the place of Medal of Honor, and they are using this game to test out certain features which they're going to put into Battlefield 5, which is obviously what they did with Medal of Honor 2010 and Medal of Honor Warfighter. They tried a few features. The things that worked, they put into Battlefield 4, and the things that didn't work, they left out of the game. So obviously they're trying to do the same thing here. However, because it's a filler game, because it's a new title within the franchise, and because, most importantly of all, it's a reskinned version of Battlefield 4, they shouldn't be able to charge us full premium price. This is something that I've said before. It just doesn't make sense. I mean, if it was a completely separate entity, I would get it, because it would be its own game. However, this is basically Battlefield 4 with a different theme on it. We shouldn't be charged $50. In fact, in my opinion, if you bought Battlefield 4 and Battlefield 4 Premium, you should get this game for free, because we had to endure 8 months of bullshit from Battlefield 4 where the game was unplayable. So they should reward us for sticking by the game, because that's what we did. Even though a lot of people stopped playing, including me, I go back to it and I still promote the game, because overall the game has very nice features. It just was broken at its core mechanics, and this game should kind of be a reward, just to say thank you for sticking with us, sorry for the inconvenience we've caused, here is something just to make your day better, and just to say sorry. Instead of doing that, or something similar like giving us a huge discount, they do the exact opposite and try to charge us premium top dollar. I mean, it doesn't make sense. If this game was about $15, $20, fine, I'd get it right now. But if they're going to charge us like £50 and £59 with premium, which is the exact price here, which is about $84 and $100 respectively, I mean, who's going to pay that much money? I mean, it doesn't make sense for a game like this, for an entity like this. It just doesn't make sense, and I think they're taking the piss. I think that they're going to hurt themselves and their reputation and their sales with this move, rather than it being a benefit. So I think it's a completely stupid move, and in my opinion, I think you should not buy the game for that price. If you can find it anywhere cheaper, or if I can find it anywhere cheaper, I will link it in the description below of this video, so you can go get a discounted version of the game, because the game is very good. I do have to say that the quality is very nice. However, it's not worth £50 or $84. It's just not. So check the description below to see if you can get the game anywhere cheaper, which I will link. Let me know if you agree or disagree with the list. You can leave the video a like or a dislike, and make sure to let me know in the comment section below what you like about the game, what you dislike about the game, and whether or not you're going to buy it or not. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you all for tuning in. It's Sniper 474, and I'm out. I'll see you on the battlefield.